Money is the main driving force of any organization, be its purpose to build homes, creating value for life, or conducting horrible acts of terrorism. The power of today's terrorist organizations have in terms of revenue and finances. Can they turn the world around for good? Maybe in an alternate reality, this video's version would be praising all the good they've done for the masses. However, in this reality, we're going to talk about the biggest terrorist enterprises in the world operating today. Before we start though, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe with notifications on, and don't miss out on upcoming videos. Let's get started. Number 1. Boko Haram. The only group that rivals the brutality of ISIS, it is the Boko Haram. This Nigerian Islamic organization's name, literally translated to Western education, is a sin. It was established in 2002 by a union of armed gangs. They started from the suburbs of the city in Maiduguri, in northeastern Nigeria, and now expanded their areas of operation far beyond. Their founder and leader, Yosef, used his charismatic preaching power to gain trust of people and made them faithful members of his organization. Their recorded annual turnover is $25 million, and their primary source of making that money is by kidnapping for ransoms, illegal taxes, bank robberies, and protection. Number 2. Real IRA. Real IRA, or Irish Republican Army, is a group of activists who are against the peace agreement signed in April 1998. This faction is considered to be the strongest resistance organization operating against the British, and it is defined as a terrorist organization by the EU and the USA. The group acts mainly against the British Army and the Northern Irish Police, and is responsible for several deadly terrorist attacks. The car bomb explosion in Omagh in August 1998, which killed 29 people and wounded 220, was the deadliest terrorist attack in the history of the conflict. Their annual turnover is recorded at over $15 million. Besides acting as a resistance, they're performing other illegal activities to provide for their organization. Most notable and common crimes of the group include smuggling and illegal trade. They also receive a substantial amount each year through aids and donations. Number 3. Al-Shabaab. Founded back in 2006, this militant organization is the biggest terrorist organization in Somalia. Al-Shabaab aims to overthrow the government and eliminate foreign forces from the country. Besides these causes, apart from hundreds of attacks carried out within the country, the group was responsible for several attacks outside Somalia, including the attack on the Westgate Mall in Nairobi in 2013 that claimed the lives of more than 60 people and injuring hundreds. Today, they are considered one of the biggest criminal organizations in the world with an annual revenue of $70 million. They make this revenue from kidnappings and ransom, illegal trade, and pirate activity, sponsorship fees, and taxes. Number 4. Lashkar-e-Taiba. Lashkar-e-Taiba is a religious terrorist group that operates in India and Pakistan. Its goal is to free Indian Kashmir and integrates with Pakistani Kashmir under Islamic rule, while applying the Sharia law and establishing a caliphate. Although militant activity today is concentrated mainly in the state of Jammu Kashmir in northern India, the organization's global ambition, as it declares, is the destruction of the Indian Republic and the complete elimination of Hindus, Christians, and Jews. Today they operate on an annual revenue of $100 million, which comes mainly from the donations of their supporters. Number 5. Al-Qaeda. Arguably the most famous terrorist organization in the world, and are regarded as one of the most lethal terrorist establishments in the world, and their actions has changed the way the world sees Islam, the organization was led by Osama bin Laden, that was considered the mastermind behind the operations and on the 9/11 attacks, and many other terror attacks in the world, until he was killed by a team of Navy SEALs in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Osama's death has barely put a dent in the organization, and even today they generate and operate with a revenue of $150 million per annum that mostly comes from financial assistance and donations, kidnapping, ransom, and drug trafficking. Number 6. Taliban. Taliban is a name that makes the news as often as you hear the term peace disruption. After the Afghanistan situation, they have become even more prominent. The Taliban is a militant political movement that ruled Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001 and applied the rule of Sunni Islamic Sharia law. The Pashtun fundamentalist organization, which gained popularity despite allegations of corruption and discrimination by the government, deposed in September 1996. In 2021, they regained control of the country, taking over every government post and overturned the government in the country. They are the most powerful group in the country with an annual revenue of $400 million that is used to power their operations and generate their income from drug trafficking, mainly production of opium and heroin, sponsorship fees and taxes, financial assistance, and donations. Number 7. Hezbollah. Established as a militant group fighting for the Shiite population in Lebanon and against Israel, Hezbollah, like Hamas, has a strong political arm that has become one of the major powers in Lebanon. Over the years, Hezbollah became a dominant factor in southern Lebanon. The ongoing effect is the creation of a state within a state. A major force in national politics and a key component in the government and military force. Hezbollah's main sponsor is the Iranian regime, which donates an estimated $250 million a year to the organization, but they have ventured out to other sources of income like drugs trafficking, target killing, and other donations and hiked their annual revenue to over $400 million. Number 8. FARC. The Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, Fuerzas Armadas Revolucionarias de Colombia, is an underground Marxist and anti-imperialist activist and a key player in the bloody struggle that's ravaged Colombia for more than 50 years. Although it's lost some of its power in recent years due to a series of assassinations and arrests of senior activists, it is still considered the largest underground organization and strongest in Colombia. At the same time, it is also a significant political player, and the government has negotiated with FARC for years, hoping to end the bloody conflict. The organization currently controls approximately 30% of the territory of Colombia. They generate an annual turnover of $600 million from drug production and drug trafficking, kidnapping and ransom, mining of minerals, especially gold, fees, and taxes. Number 9. Hamas. Hamas's militant coup and its taking over the Gaza Strip back in 2007 ushered this organization into the big league. In less than a decade, Hamas managed to turn the organization, which used to rely on donations from countries and charities, to a huge conglomerate. About 15% of Gaza's economy ends up in this organization's pocket, through taxes and levies on goods and consumer goods entering the Gaza Strip, such as cigarettes and gasoline, and licensing fees for cars, motorcycles, and even carts. Taxes that once went to the Palestinian Authority in Ramallah now go to Hamas. They also run hundreds of businesses to fuel their activities and make a total revenue of $1 billion per year. Number 10. ISIS. This small Al-Qaeda facilitated group became a huge financial corporation and became the richest terrorist organization in the world. Their primary objective is the establishment of an Islamic State in Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Palestine, the Muslim holy war against the infidels, crusaders, and the Jews. They have many different ways of making that money, most prominent is being the oil, which is abundant in the Middle East. They control 60% of oil reserves in Syria and were able to get their hands on the 7 major oil and gas reserves in Iraq. Although this oil is sold at 40% to 75% less than the market price, ISIS still pockets around $3 million every day, more than $1 billion a year, and that's just from oil. Their total annual revenue is estimated over $2 billion, that besides oil comes from kidnapping and ransom, collection of protection and taxes, bank robberies, and looting. That's enough terrifying facts for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.